Today we continue our coverage of the trial of Brian Walshe in the murder of his wife, Anna Walshe. Today was another day full of testimony that included concluding up digital forensics, talking about, let's say, analog forensics. We learned a lot about travel. Basically, I think the prosecution is just chipping away at the defense that Anna died unexpectedly and naturally, and we're going to get into it tonight. Stick with us. This video contains mature themes and discussions intended only for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello there, my friend, and welcome back to the show. Thank you for being here for another true crime conversation with me, Gavin Fish. On this channel, we like to cut through the fluff and sensationalism of true crime and just get into the nitty-gritty. And there is a lot that is nitty and a lot that is gritty about the case of Anna Walshe, the Cohasset, Massachusetts mother of three, who went missing following the 2023 New Year. She was last seen by a friend at a very small New Year's party with her husband, their children, and she just disappeared. Her husband couldn't explain it, and boy, is the prosecution doing a good job getting into all the nitty-gritty. I've overused that term, of the case. But before we get into it, let's start with some headlines.
True crime headlines!
Pow! All right, join me, if you will, over here on Acrobat. I've got a few stories that I want to bring you. This one written by Sarah Rumpf-Witten on Fox News, titled "Florida Teen's Father Avoids Subpoena After Carnival Cruise Death." So this is the case of Anna Kepner, 18-year-old Titusville, Florida girl who went on a cruise with her dad, her stepmom, her step-siblings, and ended up losing her life. She was found after going missing, kind of covered in a blanket, stuffed in with like the life preservers in her room that she shared with her step-siblings. Now, we're in the part of this case, we just don't know very much. Nothing's happening yet. I feel like it's on the horizon, but let's just read a little bit here. This is, again, Florida teen's father avoids subpoena after Carnival cruise death. The father of the Florida teen who died aboard a Carnival cruise was nowhere to be found when a subpoena arrived for him ahead of a tense custody hearing. Christopher Kepner is the father of 18-year-old Anna Kepner, who was found dead in her cabin around 11:15 a.m. on November 7th. Wow, it's almost been a month. She was on a family vacation with her father, stepmother, grandparents, and some of her siblings. According to a process server's sworn statement filed ahead of a contentious custody hearing scheduled for Friday, Christopher was unreachable after he was ordered to testify during a December 5th hearing in Brevard County. You guys will remember that he is in a contentious custody hearing with his ex-wife, Anna Kepner's mother. Is that right? I think so. And there are three children involved. Is this right? No. This is the stepmom is in a contentious custody hearing. Right? I should keep reading. Anyway, they couldn't find him. The process server ended up just placing the subpoena on his car. I'm trying to remember. I don't think it's his custody hearing. I think it's hers. We'll have to circle back around to that. But anyway, we're starting to get into the weeds on all this. Couple things that came out at the end. After Anna's death, Hudson, who is the I should just read this, for crying out loud. While the Bureau, blah, blah, da, 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 da. Oh, yes. Okay, this is the husband of Chantel, who is the stepmom of Anna Kepner. That's right. So after Anna's death, Hudson, the ex-husband of the stepmom, asked the judge for custody of the daughter he shares with Chantel, the stepmom, arguing in part that her parenting has directly put their 16-year-old son's future in jeopardy. So Christopher Kepner has been subpoenaed to testify in that case, which is a public case for some reason in the state of Florida. Even with family law, I don't understand it, but that's the way it is. And they have not wanted to testify. They've wanted to push it back because things could be said on the record that are detrimental to the case on either side of the issue. It's a mess. All right. You guys remember Morgan Geyser? We've been following this. Her attorney asked for her to be placed back in the mental hospital rather than in jail, right? Waukesha DA neutral on Geyser's facility transfer. This is brought to us by Karen Pilarski from the Freeman. Waukesha. The Waukesha County District Attorney's Office said it is not taking a position on whether Morgan Geyser should stay in the Waukesha County Jail or be moved back to the Winnebago Mental Health Institute while the state seeks to revoke her conditional release. An order signed Tuesday by Judge K. Scott Wagner. Poor Judge K. Scott Wagner. Goes by his middle name like me. Has to have a first initial. Asked both the state and the Wisconsin Department of Health Services to respond to a request from Geyser's attorney, Tony Cotton, who wants her transferred to the mental health facility. According to court documents, the petition appears to have sought detention of Geyser at one of three facilities: the jail, the Winnebago Mental Health Institute, and or Mendota Health Institute. Ms. Geyser is currently being held at the jail. Cotton filed his request on Monday, arguing she should not be in a correctional setting. Geyser was returned to the jail on November 26th after waiving extradition from Illinois, where she was found following her November 22nd escape from a Madison group home. So the DA, given that she has no new criminal charges in Waukesha County and given that she has been previously found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect on the underlying offense, it is our position that she should be housed in the mental health facility, said her attorney. In a letter filed Wednesday, DA Leslie Bose's office responded that state law leaves the placement decision to DHS. So they're not taking a position on that. I think likely Morgan Geyser will be put back in that mental institution. Hey, one of the things that I forgot to ask you guys, put down in the comments on the live chat, or if you're on the rewatch crew, in the regular old comments below the video, where you're tuning in from. I love that stuff. I want to know. Okay, last story I'm bringing you is brought to you on Crime Cod by yours truly. This story, this one angers me. I am officially PIST. Headline: Mother and stepfather accused of forcing pregnant daughter into the woods, then killing her and her baby. Oh, this just kills me. And there are the mugshots of Courtney Bartholomew and Brad Bartholomew, the parents of the year here. Dateline, Cadillac, Michigan. The mother and stepfather of 22-year-old Rebecca Park are charged with murder after prosecutors said they forced her into the woods in northern Michigan, stabbed her, and cut out her full-term baby, causing both deaths. Rebecca Park was reported missing on November 3rd from her home near Cadillac, according to Wexford County authorities. Searchers found her body on November 25th along a hiking trail in the Manistee National Forest in Boone Township. The infant was not found, investigators said. Prosecutors said the victim was about 38 weeks pregnant. That is full term at the time she was killed. Park's stepfather, 47-year-old Bradley Bartholomew, and her mother, 40-year-old Courtney Bartholomew, were arrested Monday on charges including murder, torture, and assault of a pregnant person causing a miscarriage or stillbirth, according to MLive. This is a case of premeditated torture and murder By parents, y'all. By parents. Wexford County Prosecutor Joanna Carey said. Carey said the pair created a plan, conducted research, and forced Park into a vehicle before taking her into the woods and stabbing her. Carey said she was forced to lie on the ground while they cut out her baby. Carey characterized the crime as evil personified. Law enforcement has not recovered the baby's body. So check that out on Crime Cod. We're going to probably need some transition music here in a second, but those are our headlines.
True crime headlines.
Oh, man, that last one killed me. I hate that. I hate those kinds of stories, y'all. Hate those kinds of stories. Let's check in with you, see where everybody's coming in from. Hey, let's see. AAMMLISW. Okay. Longtime lurker, first time in the chat. All right. Awesome. I'm in southern Sweden where it is 10 minutes after midnight, so I'm calling you from your future. Awesome. Sweden is one of my favorite places to go. I have spent, short stints each time I've been there, but I've probably been there half a dozen times, maybe a dozen times. Always in Stockholm, though. One time I did drive from Munich all the way up through Denmark. I took the ferries and everything and landed at the southern tip of Sweden, drove up into Stockholm. That was quite a road trip that I've already talked about a million times, but I love Sweden. Glad you're here. Member for 4 months, Marie. Congratulations. She's coming in from Birmingham, Alabama. We've got Colorado. We've got Jacksonville, Florida, Washington State, Charlottesville. We have got South Lake Tahoe. Good to see you, Sharky Sharona. I do love me some South Lake Tahoe. Listening in from Seattle area in Washington State. Leander, Texas. Sun City, California. 55 plus community. Oh my goodness. You know what I just realized? I turned 50. I turned 50 in October. I've had a hard time of it. I honestly have. But I am less than 5 years away from qualifying to live in a Sun City. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that. I am old. We've got the UK here. We've got it refreshed. Lancaster County, glad you are here. Colorado's here. North Carolina, Wenatchee, Washington, San Francisco. Some of me old stomping grounds. I'm Goddess 1950 again from Erie, PA, Lubbock, Texas, San Jose, California, Bay Area again. My stomping grounds. I'm a Sacramento kid. Yeah, Scotch Mom says I wouldn't mind the DP for that case. Evil parents. I can't even tell you. Yeah, and you guys are like, yeah, I don't know what was happening with there was a lisp that I had for a little while, but I think it was my setting on my mic. I've asked everybody, do I speak with a lisp? But yeah, I'm feeling much better than I was back then. All right, Hood River, Oregon. Glad you're here. GR Sherlock says 50 is the new 30. I'm not feeling that. Wait till you get senior discounts on menus. Oh, I will take advantage of them. Yeah, senior discounts. Yes. Okay, thank you guys. Seal Beach, I'm seeing Ann is here. Love me the OC. Michigan. We've got Germany. I love having an international show. Thanks for checking in. All right, guys, let's get into the case at hand, which is the case of the murder of Anna Walshe. Remember to put GF in your comments if you want me to see it. But her husband, Brian Walshe, is charged with her murder. Again, just a quick recap of the case. She worked in Washington, D.C. They lived in Cohasset, Massachusetts. She would commute via JetBlue between the two places. She was the breadwinner in the family. She made a good living. And she came back for New Year's of 2023, Christmas and New Year's of 2023. what would that be? Christmas of 2022, New Year's of 2023, and then went missing. And his story was, I don't know, she left, right? Took an Uber, off she went. That's kind of what she does. And then his story broke apart, okay? Now, what I want to discuss today, or maybe focus on today, is, well, how about this? I prepared just a quick kind of bullet, main points of the day, okay? Main points of the day. In the beginning of the day, the digital forensics presentation wrapped up, okay? So the investigator, Nicholas Guarino, who we heard from yesterday, talked about the Google searches and so forth. He finished his testimony about that. The defense highlighted that the searches did not reference murder and stressed that nothing indicated tampering or deletion. There were also logins to financial accounts in the days after Anna disappeared. They must have been able to withhold some of those searches that, showed up in public documents. So that was the defense. Didn't talk about murder. What are you talking about? After investigator Guarino, then some travel and tech experts testified. Representatives from Uber and Lyft testified that she took no rides after December 30th. JetBlue, a manager from JetBlue, testified that she had multiple flights booked in early January but never appeared for any of them. Her last international travel was early December. Police then testified, Cohasset officers testified that Brian was calm. When he reported that his wife was missing, he gave biographical information. A canine search of the property didn't find anything. Investigators searched Anna's townhouse in Washington, D.C., noting it was tidy and that Anna was not there. The insurance angle was presented to the jury. A New York Life salesman testified that Brian was the beneficiary of Anna's $1 million term policy and a second $250,000 whole life policy. Anna received the highest health rating, which I found interesting. She received the highest health rating based on underwriting, which prosecutors kind of are using to maybe combat against the sudden unexplained death syndrome defense that Brian Walshe's team is planning on. And from that, we got into some more crime scene and forensic evidence. And what I want to do there is bring you over to this clip. This is about 14 minutes long. Please keep the chat going in the live chat, and I will put those up on the screen. Let's see. This is, I think it's Investigator Gould that is testifying here. But here we go.
Now, what did you see? What did you see as people searching or going through the trash that night?
By the time I arrived, the main search had already been done, and there was bags of trash that were beginning to be emptied and inventoried by crime scene services section and the detective unit that was there.
And so what was your role as far as dealing with these bags of trash that other officers were going through?
My main role was to assist with the other units that were present and to sift through the items in those bags to determine what items would be relevant for forensic analysis, and then which units would be responsible for taking those items back to the laboratory afterward.
And so what was the first thing that was done when a bag was opened, if there was some kind of evidentiary analysis that needed to be done on it?
The first thing that I did while the trash was being emptied was I had my notes where I noted the items that were coming out of the bags, and then I worked with the crime scene services section trooper there as well, who photographed those items as they were coming out of the bag as well.
And how many different bags of, is it fair to say that you numbered the bags that you found to have some kind of value to you that night?
The crime scene services section did use placards to denote the bags that they were removing and photographing.
All right. Ms. Gilman, can I ask that you publish what's previously been marked as Exhibit 51, file number 6810? Sir, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
All right, so what's happening in this image that night when you were at 300 Forest Street?
This is the contents of one of the trash bags that was separated
show us here in
at
a
the
second.
center.
And Ms. Gilman, can you now show us Exhibit 52, file number 6867? So now what are we looking at in relation to that last image, sir?
Since that last photograph was taken, bench paper was put out onto the floor of the collection center in order to preserve the integrity of the evidence that we were collecting at that point.
And so if it went onto a piece of paper like this, was it going to be collected?
Potentially, yes.
That's correct. Yes.
And this bag, sir, that we see on the screen for Exhibit 52, did you have the opportunity to know what was inside this bag, bag 1?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us what was discovered inside of bag 1?
Inside of bag 1 was a pair of green boots, a black jacket with red-brown stains, and a bracelet inside of the pocket. There was a black purse with red-brown stains, a black wallet, and a pair of headphones inside of a case, as well as a pair of socks.
Was anything discovered as far as car keys?
Yes, there was a pair of Volkswagen keys as well.
Ms. Gilman, can we have what's been marked as Exhibit 110, file number 6869? Is this also the contents of that first bag?
That's correct.
And Ms. Gilman, can we now have Exhibit 111, what's been marked as 6870? Are these also the contents of that bag?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to ask you about another bag that you found or had the opportunity to examine. Was there a trash bag with a designation 2?
Yes, there was.
What was discovered inside of bag 2?
Inside of bag 2 were 2 white towels with red-brown stains, as well as a piece of tape with apparent gauze.
Notice that he never says with blood stains, because forensically speaking, they don't know it's blood until it is tested, right? So he describes it as red-brown stains. It's blood.
And red-brown stains inside of it.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 112, which is file number 6898? Sir, is that one of the towels that was found inside of bag 2?
Yes, it is.
And Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 113, file number 6902? Is that the second towel that was found inside the bag, sir?
Correct.
And what's the other items around the towel?
Those are miscellaneous tissues with red-brown stains.
Now, was there a bag 3?
Yes, there was.
What was discovered inside of bag 3?
Inside of bag 3 was a white bathrobe with red-brown stains.
Ms. Gilman, can we have what's been marked as Exhibit 114, file number 6906? Sir, is this a picture of what was found, the bathrobe and found inside of bag 3?
Yes, it is.
Now, was there a bag 4?
There was.
What was
In
discovered
fact,
inside
there
of
were
bag
many
4?
more bags.
Inside of bag 4 was a pair of gray slippers with red-brown stains, a pair of dark gray slippers with red-brown stains and trace materials, as well as apparent hairs with red-brown stains.
So, Ms. Gilman, if we could have Exhibit 115, file number...
I'm going to pause here. This is a great question. Wouldn't the stains be long tested and identified by now? Yes, and they are. But the way that they typically present in a trial is, what was it that you saw then when you went and when you went to this scene and you saw bag number 3, you opened it, what was it? And they testify what they saw then, what they knew then. Because later what they will have is they will have different lab experts testify that, yeah, this sample came from bag number 3. It was a swab from the bathrobe, and it tested positive for human blood, and the DNA was a so-and-so percent match to on a Walshe, they will testify that way. That's how they typically work.
6915. Sir, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
Directing your attention to this image, the slippers there, which ones are those in the top of it?
The slippers located at the top are the gray slippers.
And at the
Ms. Gilman
bottom,
knows what she's
what is
doing for sure.
there next to the left of the jar?
There is a leather strap wristwatch located as well.
And you had said that there was a second pair of slippers that was recovered from that bag?
That's correct.
Ms. Gilman, can we have exhibit
As a watch guy, I wanna know what that watch
116,
is.
file number 6929? Sir, can you tell us where the second pair of slippers is in this photo?
Yes, at the bottom center of the photo, you'll see the dark gray slippers with the red-brown stains and trace material noted on the bottom of one of the slippers.
What is trace material?
Trace material could reference a number of things. In this particular instance, it references the apparent hairs or fibers that I observed on the slippers.
Ms. Gilman, can we have exhibit 117, file number 6934? Sir, what is the trace material you saw that night when you were at 300 Forest Street?
In the photo on the right-hand side of the overturned slipper, there are the apparent hairs and fibers that I called trace materials located on the right-hand side at the toe end of the slipper.
Sir, I'd like to ask you some questions about
That looks
bag
like-
number 5. What did you observe inside of
That looks
what
like
did you
bits of
observe
Anna
produced
to
from
me,
bag
her hair.
Bag number 5 contained pieces of rug with red-brown stains on some of the pieces.
Ms. Gilman, can we have exhibit 118, which is file number 6948? Sir, what are we looking at here?
These are pieces of a rug with red-brown stains that I noted on 2 of the pieces.
And Ms. Gilman, can we have exhibit 119, file number 6944? Sir, where did you see the red-brown staining on the rugs?
On the 2 leftmost pieces, the left piece has red-brown stains in the bottom right corner, and then the one in the center of the photo has red-brown stains on the majority of the piece of rug.
So, sir, after
a
bag
lot of
5,
blood.
did you have the opportunity to see anything produced from a 6th bag?
I did, yes.
What was produced from the 6th bag?
Inside the sixth bag was additional pieces of rug with red-brown staining on those as well.
And besides red-brown staining of rug, what was discovered as far as a Tyvek suit?
There was a white Tyvek suit discovered in the bag as well, along with a wrapper for a Tyvek suit.
Was anything else discovered as far as a safety goggles or anything like that?
Yes, safety goggles were discovered, as well as additional miscellaneous items.
Ms. Gilman, can we have exhibit 120, which is file number 6951? Sir, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
What is this an image of?
This is an image of the safety goggles and Tyvek suit wrappers that were found in bag number 6.
Can you tell us what a Tyvek suit is?
A Tyvek suit is typically a piece of personal protective equipment that one would wear in order to protect themselves from anything they might be working with.
Have you ever worn one?
I have, yes.
When would you wear one?
I have worn one specifically during training sessions where there are biological fluids that we are experimenting with.
Ms. Gilman, can we have exhibit 121, which is file number 6956? Sir, do you recognize this image?
I do, yes.
What is this an image of?
This is an image showing more of the pieces of the rug.
And Ms. Gilman, can we have exhibit number 122, file number 6952? What are we looking at here, sir?
This is a photograph of the lower half of the Tyvek suit from bag number 6.
Shocking how clean it is to me. With all the blood that we've
Did
seen.
you have the opportunity to see the contents of a 7th bag that night?
Yes, I did.
What was inside the 7th, what was produced from the 7th bag?
Your Honor, may I refer to my notes?
May.
The 7th bag contained a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, a ice pack, a blue flat sheet as well.
And sir, I neglected to ask you about the rug as well. I showed you one image, which was Exhibit 121. So, Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 123, file number 6963? Sir, what is this we're looking at?
This is another piece of the rug from bag number 6 containing red-brown stains with apparent tissue.
Apparent tissue.
What is apparent tissue? For those of, like, I don't know what that means. It's not like Kleenex, right?
That's correct. Apparent tissue from the forensic perspective is a material that may or may not resemble human skin tissue. In this particular instance, based on my observations, that's what I called it.
Again, they would have
Ms.
had
Gilman,
that
if you could
tested.
take that down, and if we could have Exhibit 124, 6974. And so, sir, does this represent the contents of the seventh bag?
Yes, it does.
And so, in the upper center, what is that brown bottle?
It is a bottle of hydrogen peroxide.
And the cut up like labels off to the side, did you note what those were for?
I didn't note what they specifically were for. I grouped them under the miscellaneous items that were in this bag.
And now, sir, did you have the opportunity to see an eighth bag in the contents produced from it?
Yes, I did.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 125, which is HAS?
My question is, will the defense be like, well, yeah, he has pleaded to this. He did say that he disposed of her body. So why does any of this matter? I think it goes to the probably malice aforethought part of it, the consciousness of guilt part of it. It goes to a lot of the case beyond just whether he admitted to chopping her up and spreading her about.
7002.
Oh, this is haunting
Sir,
to me.
what is it that we're looking at here?
This image is haunting to me, man. Oh my goodness.
This is a photograph of the contents of bag number 8.
And what was produced from bag number 8?
Bag number 8 contained a hammer, a pair of wire snips, a hatchet, and a hacksaw with red-brown stains on it.
And what are wire snips, and then what are shears?
They're sharpened tools that can be used to cut an item of interest.
So which one of those two objects is snips and which one is a shear?
The shears are located on the right-hand side of the photo. The snips are located in the center between the hacksaw and the hatchet.
Wow. Oh, this image, man. This image. This is so Sopranos, man. This is Tony Soprano crap. I don't think a normal person, I don't think the average everyday person would be able to accomplish what I believe Brian Walshe accomplished. I mean, unless you have maybe hunting a big game experience and you understand, what this kind of stuff feels like and smells like, but then again, it's a human being and it's the mother of your children. It's your wife, the one that you have spent the most intimate time with in your entire life, and you're cutting her up with a hacksaw, hatchet, snips, a hammer. Oh my goodness. This is just absolutely haunting.
Now, sir, I want to ask you about bag 10. Skip it. What was recovered from the 10th bag?
The 10th bag contained a large piece of tarp that was taped together, so multiple pieces were taped together to form a larger tarp.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 126? Is this what the 10th bag looked like, sir?
Prior to opening the contents, yes.
And Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 127? What is it we're looking at here in 127, sir?
This is a photograph of protective booties that are worn over the bottoms of shoes.
And where were those recovered from, sir?
Those were also recovered in bag 10 once the contents were emptied.
And Ms. Gilman, can we have what's been previously marked as Exhibit 50, file number 7029? What is this, sir?
This is a photograph of the tarp from bag number 10.
Sorry to interrupt, but this is a great comment from Aunt Tiss. Regarding the Google searches, question for the defense, why didn't he search sudden death or anything regarding their explanation for her death? Great question.
As it was being unfurled from the bag.
And Ms. Gilman, can we now have Exhibit 128, file number 7035? What is this image of, sir?
This is an image of additional items from bag number 10, one of them being an apparent piece of insulation and then some scraps from containers.
I think this is the end of the clip that I prepared. Striving for Titus, too, says, I once had a narcissist tell me the way he got away with things was by telling the truth or enough of it. They think they're smart enough to convince others of their version of everything. Ugh. Robin, also Dexter, dude liked his tarps. That is not a normal human being. What does it take to disarticulate a person? Yeah. Ooh. Scotchman says, I can't believe that the instruments he used were so tiny. Yeah, hand tools. Sherry saying he had to be in some kind of psychotic state of mind. No normal person could carry out a crime like this, or could they? Everybody can be driven. I believe this to my core. Everybody is capable of the darkest part of humanity, and everybody's capable of the lightest part of humanity. We all have that within us, and we all carry it with us. It's just part of human nature. But it should, in order to go to the darkest place that you can go, it should be, there should be something that triggers it. I don't know. What am I talking about? I don't know anything, right? I have no education in this or anything, but I think about people like my grandfathers who perpetrated in wartime, perfectly legal wartime acts that were horrific. And it took that war to take them there, right? I've talked to you about my scoutmaster who I told him when I was like 12 years old, I don't think I could ever, and what I said was, I could never kill another person. And he said, yeah, you could. Right. I mean, there's got to be something. He was a Vietnam vet, and that's what it was for him. Right? It was war. But yeah, just, I don't know. I don't know how he was able to do that. I don't know. Thank you for your comments on that. I'm really looking forward to the defense's case. The prosecution's case, this is going to go on for a while. In fact, the judge today said that they were either on pace or maybe even a little ahead of pace from what they had planned. I think they had planned 3 weeks for this trial. So I think that the prosecution's case is going to continue to pile on. I'm really looking forward to what the defense is going to say. Like, how is the defense going to? I don't know. Striving for Titus again. Does anyone think this is his first time? Yeah, I mean, could you do that your first time? I don't know. Joanne Marie says, I agree, Gavin. Hatred. If he can't have her, no one will. I guess. It's just, I don't know how you grow to hate somebody that you professed at one point to love, though. I've never been through that. I've only loved 2 people in my life, and I love them both to this day. Right? Like, I don't know how you can get there. But it happens. I mean, I'm not naive enough to believe that it doesn't happen. Oh, dark case, guys. Tell you what, now that we've gone through that, let's go to happier fare, shall we? It's 3 questions.
It's 3 questions with Gavin Fish.
Okay, in this segment, guys, you are allowed to ask me 3 questions. Any questions you want. Here's the deal. Got to email them to me. 3questions at gavinfish.com. It's spelled out THREE, questions with an S, at gavinfish.com. And I will endeavor my darndest to answer your questions, even the ones that make me slightly or very uncomfortable. Nothing's off the table. You can ask me anything. And it's been a while since we've had a guest on the show. I need to get a guest back because I like playing 3 questions with other people. Puts them in the hot seat, not me. All right, question number 1. I need to bring it up so y'all can see it. What are your top 10 desert island songs you would need to get you through being stranded on a desert island? So I actually thought about this and prepared my list. Now, I want you to know that I am a nostalgic creature. So this reflects how I'm feeling right now. But ask me again in 6 months and who knows, it'll probably be very different. But most of this stuff is driven by nostalgia. Okay, song number 1 is You Never Give Me Your Money by the Beatles. This is a deep cut Abbey Road track. It's the beginning of the so-called long song. And if I could cheat, I would take the entire long song. But my favorite parts of that medley begins with You Never Give Me Your Money, and then I really like Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight in the end. Those are the 4 that I really, really love. But out of those 4, I think You Never Give Me Your Money is probably my favorite. And it's not necessarily about the lyrics or the message. It's just the theme in that is so good. The musical theme is so good. The piano work is so good and simple and beautiful. I absolutely love that. So, and these are in no particular order. I just love the Beatles, and I would much rather listen to a deep cut than, I don't know, I Want to Hold Your Hand or something like that. All right. Song number 2. I love Paul Simon. So there has to be Paul Simon in here. In fact, there are 2 Paul Simon tracks on this list, but only one performed by Paul Simon. And my favorite is Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes. This comes from Graceland, if I am not mistaken. One of the greatest albums ever cut. That song has spoken to me for years. I love the whole idea of the poor boy described as empty as a pocket. Right? I love that. Chasing after the girl with diamonds on the soles of her shoes. And then I love the whole how he gets diamonds on the soles of his shoes. Pretty great. Next song for me, I have to have a Dire Straits cut, and I like a lot of them, but I think my favorite is probably Sultans of Swing. I know that that's probably pretty, at least for people who love rock and roll, that's kind of a standard, but again, a great storytelling song. I really like storytelling songs. I really do. And Sultans of Swing is one of my favorites. I like the groove. I like the swing. I really love Knopfler's guitar work on that. It's awesome. Okay. Number 4, kind of getting out of the classic rock, getting more into 80s synth rock. Got to have me some Pet Shop Boys. Right. And I would choose West End Girls just because it just brings me back to 14-year-old Gavin. I love that entire album. And I think I would go with the title song, West End Girls. The next is my next Paul Simon composition, but it is performed by the Bangles, and that is Hazy Shade of Winter. I love Paul Simon's version of it as well, but got to have me some Bangles. And, it's between this one and Dreaming, Eternal Flame, right? But I've got to have me some upbeat stuff if I am on a deserted island. Next one, going back into the synth rock of the late 80s, early 90s, I got to have me some OMD. Love me orchestral maneuvers in the dark. I would go with Secret. I like Secret a lot. Now, those are my first. You know what? I cheated. I think I've got 11 on this. Okay, the next one is a track from an Argentine artist named Fito Páez, and his song Dar es Dar is amazing. Dar es Dar. I think that's from about 1996. I love it. Number 8, going up into Colombia, I would take early 90s, or I guess mid 90s, Shakira. I would go to the Pies Descalzos album, an album that I really love. And I think I would choose, I mean, I love every cut on that album, but probably Te Espero Sentada, which is just a great, great song. And it kind of jams. You don't expect it. It changes time signatures and it jams. It's really fun. Continuing on with my Latin music theme here, I gotta go with Donato y Stefano. I would choose Mar Adentro. Y dejamos mar adentro. That's a great song. Cuando nos amamos. It's upbeat, it's fun, but still a love song. Love songs. Number 10, I gotta go with Ruta from a band called La Portuaria. Again, mid-90s, love it. And then the bonus song, sorry, I just, you gotta have Fleetwood Mac on there, right? Gotta have Fleetwood Mac on there. It's gotta be from Rumors. So I would choose Never Going Back Again. That is my list. If you guys disagree with me, I'd love to hear your comments. Next on the 3 questions, and thank you for that question. I bet you guys can guess who that question came from. Question number 2, did you ever decide on an anniversary gift for Kimberly? Indeed, I did, in consultation with my wife, and this is what she decided on. She is ready. She shocked me that she would like jewelry. And specifically, she wants a ring for her right hand. She'd like to wear it on her middle finger. And she would like a 2-tone, yellow and white gold, thick, chunky band. Now, I had a conversation with her. I said, because Kimberly's never been about diamonds. She just doesn't like diamonds. And I don't know, she loves her wedding band. It has this teeny tiny little diamond on it. And it was almost too much for her. Just because it's a band, it's a decorated band. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But I told her, we are 50 years old now, and women of a certain age, when she was younger, she didn't want to look old by wearing diamonds. Like, we are now of a certain age. And she's like, yeah, we could probably do something like that. But then she's drawn just to the chunky 2-tone gold. So we have not purchased it yet. We have been shopping for it. She just nothing has spoken to her yet. So that's, she's the cheapest date ever, by the way, guys. Cheapest date ever. Because we're 50. She should have I'm channeling my own mother, who is all about sparkliness. My mom is all about yellow gold and diamonds. And to me, I'm wearing one of my silicone bands today, but I don't like anything on me that is gold. It makes me feel like Liberace. And so mine is white gold, or it's white gold. But anyway, I am channeling my mom just a little bit on that. And I think that she needs a big chunky diamond. But she's a cheap date, so won't be doing that. 3rd question. I have heard you mention church, which I love, and mission trips. How many trips did you make, and which mission trip was your favorite and why? I have done 1. So in my faith tradition, this is how it works. When a young person, at the time that I went, it was 19 years old. Now it's 18 years old. When a young person turned 19 years old, you would apply to go on a mission trip. And we don't call them mission trips because they're long. They're 2 years long. And during that time, you don't get to choose where you're going. You don't get to you get to say, "Here I am, send me," and that's about it. And then you're sent. So I am the third son. There we go. I usually do it like this. I'm the third son, and my two older brothers did it. My father did not when he was a young man. He was more concerned about losing my mom, I think. I mean, there were other circumstances, but he did not go, and so it was important to our parents that we do that. I think there were some regrets that they didn't do that. So both of my older brothers went. My oldest brother went to Japan for 2 years. My next oldest brother went to Holland for 2 years. In fact, he and his wife just visited Holland for the first time since he was a teenager, right? So they just took a trip, which is beautiful. And then I went to Argentina, and I was there for 2 years. Oh, well, there was a training. There were a few weeks of training before I actually made it down there, but it was close. It was like 22 and a half months or something like that I spent down there. There was training where we had to learn a language, and then they send us down, and then you go to work, spreading the good word, trying to be a service-oriented person, a person whose mind is external, right? And at the time, I really loved it. Looking back on it, well, at the time, I had a hard time at the time. I didn't tell anybody this. All the letters that I sent back, we were allowed to call home twice a year, Mother's Day and Christmas. I think I had a total of 5 calls because my grandmother passed away while I was gone, and I was unable to come back. If I had come back for my grandmother's funeral, they wouldn't have let me go back. So I decided to stay in Argentina for that. That was August of 1996. And so I called my dad to express my sorrow for him. And then 2 Mother's Days to Christmas. And of course, this is all before email. So we were writing letters back and forth. It was a hard time. It was difficult, but I did learn a lot. I learned languages, which was pretty cool. Being in Argentina, they speak a dialect of Castilian Spanish called Argentinized Castilian. They call it Castellano Argentinizado. And then because of World War II and because of the Aboriginous peoples that predate the Spanish and the Portuguese, there are opportunities to learn other languages as well. German, Italian, and then there are several Aboriginal languages, but the main one is called Guarani. So it was a terrific experience. I'm glad that I went. It was very difficult. It was good for me. And Kimberly wouldn't have given me the time of day had I not been a return missionary. She, by the way, also served a mission, and she served it in Washington, D.C., which is pretty amazing. We met about 6 months after she got home from her mission. So, yeah, those are our 3 questions. Let's finish the old segment, then I'll go to your comments to wrap it up.
3 questions with Gavin Fish.
All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. All right. Robin says, my ex-husband still hates me after 16 years. He would call me it, and he doesn't look at me to this day because I left him and decided enough was enough. Hate breeds hate. I'm very sorry. You know what? That is his loss. That is his loss. I have an old friend. In fact, we share a birthday. We were born within an hour of one another. I think we met when we were about 8, and he's one of my longest standing friendships. I found out today that back in several months ago, he and his wife split, and I was happy to hear that they are still friendly with one another. And one of my friends who lives in Nevada, when he and his wife split, she bought a house like half a block down so that their son could be either at mom's house or dad's house at any time. They were really, really, really good co-parents, even though they couldn't keep their marriage together. So I'm sorry for your ex-husband. That sucks. It sucks for him. Linda says, I couldn't bring myself to pick up my deceased cat. How could you do that to a person? Yeah. Oh, it takes something. Takes something. C.A. Hawkeye says, Gavin, in my opinion, it comes back to feeling entitled. Okay. Also, C.A. Hawkeye says, how's your new lifestyle treating me? It's treating me fine. I continue to feel healthier and feel better. I have a couple of issues in my body that have to do with my joints and my bones, and I've injured my foot. So I'm limping around like Captain Gimpy Pants, and right now I'm not able to go to the gym because I can't walk. So right now I haven't been working out for about the last week because I can't, but I continue on with the special diet and continue on with the other stuff and continue to peel weight, which is good. But I am looking forward to getting back to the gym because I think I want to build muscle more than I want to lose fat. See, Hawkeye, man, you're on top of things. Mark Knopfler has his own album, Philadelphia. I need to hear. I got to check that out. Kimberly is of Celtic descent. They have bands like that. She is kind of a Celt, actually. She is. Yeah. And I think last one that came in, Gavin, your efforts are paying off. You're looking great. Well, thank you very much. I deeply appreciate it. I'm looking forward to, I've transitioned from the very beginning where I was really hardcore about what I was eating. I was eating less than 1,000 calories a day. And I transitioned into more calories, but I'm still actually having a real hard time consuming even like 2,000 calories in a day because I'm choosing only to eat whole foods. I have to prepare them myself. So, if you cook chicken or lean meat, turkey, beef, pork, anything that's lean, and then you're doing vegetables and you're doing carbohydrates that come from whole foods. You get full, but it's really hard. I think today, even today, I was like, I need to eat an apple. Need to have that sweetness, right? Even today, even with something really sweet like an apple, which has fiber in it all. Anyway, I still don't think I'm at about 1,500 calories today. I'll have to input all the data tonight and see. So thank you. And then what I'm looking forward to is being at a place where I can really consume a lot of food and build muscle, which is where I want to be. Okay, and that takes us to an hour. Guys, we've been here an hour. So thank you very much for joining me today. Thanks for playing with me in the headlines in the 3-question segment. Please, the 3 questions, I'm not getting all that many questions, so send them my way, or I'm going to start making stuff up. 3questions@gavinfish.com. Before we go, I just want to remind you that you're always welcome to reach out to me via my website, gavinfish.com. There's always a link down in the description below. If you click on the little fishy on the upper right-hand corner of my website, that will take you to the fish tank where we hang out on Facebook and talk about all sorts of things, true crime. And my little sis Tiffany is our admin, and she is amazing. So come check us out there. And with that, guys, I bid you adieu until the next one, which will be tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on this channel. Until then, please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.